All right, get ready to dive into A Sea of Unspoken Things.
Adrienne Young's brand new novel.
We're going to give you a little taste
Just enough to pull you in.
without spoiling anything major.
We want you to experience the story for yourself.
Yeah, consider this your official warning. Spoiler-free zone.
Exactly. It's like dipping your toes into the water before taking the plunge.
You'll get a sense of the atmosphere, the
Yeah.
characters
And all those mysteries.
lurking beneath the surface.
And we start with the main character, James.
He's going back to his hometown, Six Rivers, after 20 years away.
Now, this is not your typical warm, fuzzy homecoming.
No, Six Rivers is a small logging town.
Shrouded in secrets.
And James, well, he's got some serious baggage tied to this place.
What I found really interesting is how Adrienne Young describes Six Rivers.
Yeah.
It's almost like the town itself is a character,
It's giving me those classic Gothic vibes, you know?
with its dense forests closing in.
That kind of place where everyone knows everyone else's business.
And the past is never truly buried.
And speaking of the past, that's a big part of why James left Six Rivers in the first place.
Yeah, he hightailed it out of there as soon as he could.
Built a new life for himself as an artist in San Francisco.
But something pulls him back.
The death of his twin brother, Johnny.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah, James doesn't just learn about Johnny's death.
He feels it physically.
Like a punch to the gut.
This connection between the twins.
This is a recurring motif throughout the book.
And it raises so many questions.
Yeah, like were they just close?
Or is there something more mystical going on?
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
But wait, there's more.
The excerpts also mention that James senses Johnny was afraid,
Leading up to his death,
even though the official report claims he was alone.
something just doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't.
It's clear there's more to Johnny's death than meets the eye.
And that's what compels James to return to this town he tried so hard to forget.
It's not just about mourning.
It's about uncovering the truth.
Okay, so we've got a mysterious town with a dark past.
A twin connection that seems to defy logic.
And a death shrouded in unanswered questions.
Now let's throw in another layer of intrigue.
We're introduced to Micah,
A childhood friend of the twins.
who stayed in Six Rivers,
There's a lot of tension between him and James.
hinting at some past conflict.
Micah is fascinating because he represents a stark contrast to James.
While James sought escape in the city,
Micah stayed deeply connected to the forest.
almost becoming one with the natural world,
Yeah, it makes you wonder about the choices we make.
and how our environment shapes who we are.
And then there's Autumn.
A young woman who vanished before starting college.
And guess what?
She had a connection to Johnny.
The author cleverly drops these little clues about her. Photos of backpack, a hidden note.
It's like she's saying, hey, pay attention to this.
Right.
There's more to this girl than you think.
And it makes you wonder, is Autumn's disappearance linked to Johnny's death?
Or are these separate tragedies that just happen to be intertwined?
That's the beauty of the way Adrienne Young sets up this mystery.
She gives you just enough information to spark your curiosity,
But she holds back on the answers.
leaving you craving more.
Okay, before we get too carried away with all these mysteries,
Yeah?
let's talk about the atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
The excerpts really paint a vivid picture of Six Rivers and the surrounding forest.
There's this sense of foreboding, like something dark is lurking just beneath the surface.
I felt that too.
The forest is described as both beautiful and menacing.
A place of secrets and hidden dangers.
It's almost like the forest itself is a character.
Watching and waiting.
Yeah, it gives me the feeling that the forest knows more than the people do.
Like it's holding on to secrets that it's ready to reveal.
And that's where Adrienne Young's writing really shines.
She creates this incredibly immersive experience.
Where you can practically feel the dampness of the forest floor.
And hear the wind whispering through the trees.
It's a world that draws you in.
And makes you want to explore every dark corner.
Absolutely.
I felt like I was right there with James.
Experiencing the town and the mystery firsthand.
And that ending.
It's like she drops a bomb and then cuts to black.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
It leaves you with so many questions.
And theories.
Swirling in your head.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Me neither. All right, we're going to take a quick break here.
But don't go anywhere.
When we come back, we'll be diving deeper into A Sea of Unspoken Things.
Exploring the complexities of the twin connection.
The secrets that Johnny may have been hiding.
And the mystery surrounding Autumn's disappearance.
You won't want to miss it.
We're back and ready to wade deeper into A Sea of Unspoken Things.
We left off with a whole lot of questions.
About that connection between James and Johnny.
It goes way beyond your typical twin bond.
Yeah, it's practically supernatural.
James doesn't just know what Johnny felt.
He experiences those emotions as if they were his own.
It really makes you wonder if their bond transcends physical boundaries,
It's giving me those twin telepathy vibes.
but on a much deeper level.
It makes you think about the nature of identity, especially when you're a twin.
Right. Are you two separate individuals?
Or are you somehow intertwined?
Exactly. And this connection becomes even more fascinating when we consider the circumstances surrounding Johnny's death.
Did James sense his brother's fear because of an actual threat?
Or was it something more otherworldly?
Okay, let's talk about that conservation project.
The one Johnny was working on before his death.
He was studying owls in Trentham Gorge.
And the excerpts specifically mention a particular owl labeled Subject 44.
Yes. And what's interesting is how deeply involved Johnny was in this project.
He meticulously documented his observations.
Took hundreds of photos.
You can sense a genuine fascination with these owls.
But here's the thing. Right before his death, Johnny deviates from his normal routine
Yeah, he goes to the gorge outside of the designated observation window.
and comes back only to head out again without his camera or notebook.
That's right, and it raises a lot of questions.
Like, what was so urgent that he had to go back to the gorge alone and unprepared?
Especially considering he's found dead in that same gorge just a few days later.
It just doesn't add up. And to make things even more suspicious, it's like Johnny was deliberately trying to erase any evidence of his connection to Autumn.
Her photos and notes were tucked away in his cabin.
And he never even mentioned her to Micah, even when he was clearly troubled.
It's almost as if Johnny was trying to protect her secret, even in death.
But why? What was he hiding? And is it connected to his death?
These are the questions that kept me hooked. And remember, we also learned about some questionable activities surrounding the conservation project.
Oh, that's right. It seems Johnny might have been involved in poaching invasive owls to manipulate the study's results.
Could this have something to do with Autumn's disappearance?
Was she aware of what he was doing? Did that put her in danger? And let's not forget about Micah. He was Johnny's rock, always there for him.
But even he was left in the dark about certain things.
That's what's so compelling about the relationships in this book.
There are layers of secrecy and unspoken truths that bind these characters together.
Even those closest to Johnny, like Micah, were kept at arm's length when it came to certain secrets.
It makes you realize that everyone has their hidden depths, their own personal mysteries they're trying to protect.
And those mysteries often have a way of unraveling.
Especially in a place like Six Rivers, where the past seems to have a powerful grip on the present.
Then there's that bombshell moment when James finds Autumn's backpack in Johnny's closet.
With all her stuff in it.
Her wallet, her phone, everything.
That discovery really shifts the narrative.
Yeah, it confirms that Autumn isn't just missing.
But potentially in serious danger.
And it suggests that Johnny knew more about her disappearance than he let on.
But if he knew something, why didn't he tell anyone?
What was he so afraid of?
Was he trying to protect someone?
Was he trying to protect himself?
This is where the suspense really starts to build.
The excerpts give us enough clues to make us suspect foul play,
But they skillfully withhold the answers.
leaving us desperate to know more.
It's like Adrienne Young is a master puppeteer, pulling the strings of our emotions.
And keeping us on the edge of our seats,
You're completely absorbed in the story.
wanting to shake the characters and say, just tell me what happened.
Exactly. And she weaves this intricate web of connections between the characters and the event.
So you're constantly trying to piece together the puzzle.
But you know there are still missing pieces.
I kept finding myself flipping back through the excerpts,
Looking for clues you might have missed.
trying to figure out what it all meant.
And that's the sign of a truly great mystery.
It stays with you even when you're not reading it.
Prompting you to analyze every detail, every interaction, every whispered secret.
I love how the mystery unfolds so organically through James's perspective.
It's like you're right there with him discovering things as he does.
And with every new piece of information, the stakes get higher, the danger feels more real.
And the tension becomes almost unbearable.
Absolutely. And just when you think you're starting to get a handle on things, bam.
Another twist throws you off course.
Just when you think you figured it out, Adrienne Young throws a curveball.
Reminding you that nothing is as it seems in Six Rivers.
And those last lines of part 2,
They're killer.
they make you wonder, is Johnny really gone?
That's a great question. The way Adrienne Young handles the twin connection is so masterful.
It's both heartwarming and eerie.
And it leaves you wondering if death can truly sever such a powerful bond.
It's those lingering questions that make you want to dive right into the next part.
Speaking of which, we've covered a lot of ground already, and the mystery is only getting deeper. But we're going to take a pause here and let those questions simmer for a bit. When we come back, we'll be exploring the shocking revelations of Part 3, where secrets unravel, relationships are tested, and the truth emerges in a way you'd never expect.
Don't go anywhere, folks. The deepest secrets of a sea of unspoken things are waiting to be discovered. We're back for the final part of our deep dive.
Into a sea of unspoken things.
We've uncovered some pretty unsettling stuff so far,
Hidden secrets, suspicious disappearances.
and a twin connection that blurs the lines between life and death.
And as we delve into Part 3, the stakes get even higher.
We see James grappling with the possibility that Johnny wasn't just a victim.
But might have been actively involved in something dangerous.
Yeah, it's a real turning point in the story.
We learn that Johnny wasn't passively caught up in Autumn's disappearance.
He was digging for information-making calls.
Even leaving a cryptic voicemail from Micah asking for help.
What I find so compelling is that it shows a different side of Johnny.
Yeah, he's not just the brooding, mysterious twin anymore.
He's someone who is deeply concerned, maybe even scared.
Trying to uncover the truth.
It makes you wonder, what did Johnny know that made him so desperate? Was he trying to protect Autumn, or was he afraid of something else entirely?
And as James pieces together the puzzle, we start to see connections between Autumn and some of the other characters.
Particularly Ben Cross Sadie's son.
Oh, Ben, talk about a walking red flag.
We already know he's got some serious issues breaking into Johnny's cabin, convinced Johnny was his father.
And the excerpts reveal that Ben was infatuated with Autumn.
Their relationship seems to have been quite intense, maybe even a source of trouble.
And remember, Ben was at the party. Autumn attended the night she vanished.
Could he be involved in her disappearance?
It definitely makes you suspicious.
And then there's that confrontation between Sadie and James at the diner,
She lays into him.
accusing him of causing all this pain and turmoil.
That scene is so raw and powerful. You can feel the years of resentment simmering beneath the surface.
The weight of the past, crushing everyone in its path.
It makes you think about how deeply secrets can wound a community.
How the choices we make can ripple outwards and affect those around us sometimes in ways we never intended.
Absolutely. Sadie's anger towards James is palpable.
But it also raises the question, who's really to blame?
Is it James for leaving?
Johnny for his actions.
Or is it the town itself with its tangled web of lies and betrayals?
It's like everyone in Six Rivers is carrying this shared burden of guilt and grief.
A weight that's passed down through generations.
And as James delves deeper, he's not just uncovering secrets about Johnny and Autumn.
He's confronting his own past.
The reasons he fled Six Rivers in the first place,
It becomes a journey of self-discovery.
as much as a quest for the truth.
And let me tell you the truth, in A Sea of Unspoken Things is not what you expect. It's messy complicated.
And it leaves you with a sense of both sorrow and hope.
That's what makes this book so brilliant. Adrienne Young doesn't shy away from the complexities of human nature.
The good and the bad, the love and the pain.
She creates these characters that are flawed yet deeply relatable.
And you find yourself rooting for them, even when they make questionable choices.
And the ending, well, let's just say it stays with you long after you finish the last page.
It's the kind of ending that makes you want to discuss it with someone, to dissect every detail and explore all the possible interpretations.
And that's what we hope we've accomplished in this deep dive.
We've given you a glimpse into the world of A Sea of Unspoken Things, without spoiling the surprises.
We've piqued your curiosity, sparked your imagination, and hopefully left you wanting more.
Exactly. So if you're looking for a book that will keep you guessing until the very end, a story that will haunt you long after you close the book, then A Sea of Unspoken Things is waiting for you.
Dive in, explore the mysteries of Six Rivers, and unravel the secrets that lie beneath the surface. You won't be disappointed.
And until next time, dear listener, happy reading.